Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So Wode interviewed former president, which is John Dramani Mahama, and he has getting trolls over that. A lot of people are insulting him for interviewing John Mahama, former president. Ghanaians, we are much hypocrite, and most of us will continue to suffer because of our greediness, because of our ignorance as well. This guy wanted to interview former president, which is Akufo-Addo. He has pushed this interview for so long, which one day he posted a video with the information minister Kwajo Kroma, that he wanted to talk to the president of Ghana. So he went and see information minister, blah 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 blah, and he hasn't been able to interview President Akufo-Addo. Even in his video, he mentioned that this is the 5th time that he wanted to push this thing and it's not working. So there was a Munich security conference, which Wode did not organize this conference, but he was the interviewer of this conference. So he got to interview a lot of people, not only former President John Mahama, even President Akufo-Addo was on board. He interviewed the agric minister of Germany or something like that. So why are you guys insulting him? Because of partisan politics, Ghana is at standstill. If I don't get it, you are not going to get it. You know, this man had an interview with Wode, and it was very brilliant, which I even said a message that this man really talks a lot, talks very well. And what I've observed is that these our leaders, when they are on power, there is little that they can do, but when they are in the opposition, they have solution to every problem, which I don't know whether when they are in power there is a whole lot of things that involve, which they cannot use their power to do what they want to do unless they come together, or unless they consult. I don't know whether they are ministers or here and there. And you send this message to Wode that, let me read it. It said, he wrote this in tree, which I'll translate. He said, which means God will punish you. As a youth, you are a fool as a youth. You want to use your brand to promote John Mahama as a president, Jimmy. You know, he said Wode is using his YouTube channel to promote the former president who wants to be president again. And for me, I don't see anything wrong with Wode interview former president. Even you this person that you wrote this message, which means that you are an MPP. That is why you wrote this insult to Wode, and I just want to say that you are rather the fool, because if you really have sense, what this guy said on the interview, I mean, it was very brilliant interview that he had, and I was like, it was just like really a television, you know, something. Wode was so on point, so presentable. I mean, the question he was giving back to back, and John Mahama was, we all know that he's a communicator. He knows how to communicate very well. This is one thing I love about this man. I'm not doing politics, I'm not an MPP, I'm not NDC, but I love how when you ask him a question, how he answer you, and he's free to go. You know, Wode said, oh, I see you to be a gentleman, not knowing you are not just a gentleman on the camera or on the television, but in real life you are just a gentleman. I mean, your president, you, this person that you wrote this message, I know you are an MPP man. Your president this guy has pushed to interview your president, which we all want Wode Maya to interview Akufo-Addo. But his dream hasn't been materialized. And he got a chance to interview former President John Mahama. So what is wrong with it? What is wrong with what he did? I mean, what is wrong with what he did? Africans will always be African. That's why I say that I always continue to say the fact that we are African, the fact that we want an African to develop, but Africa can never be united. Even from your own country, people are much against you for even the good things that you are doing for them. So how can African be united, or how can African be developed with these evil mindsets? Let's watch just a few clips of what Wode Maya, the interview that he had with the former president. Let's watch a little about it.
You were once the president of Ghana,
yeah,
and the people of Ghana decided to change you.
yeah.
I know and believe that you want to be president again.
Well, maybe. You never know what happens.
What are you going to do differently this time?
Yeah, I keep getting asked this question. We did a lot in my time, and at the time our focus was on infrastructure, because we came and met a situation where our infrastructure was degraded. And so, of course, all the investments that we raised, we put into improving the roads, building interchanges, expanding the airports, new terminal buildings. We built a new harbor. We built new hospitals, new schools, and all that. I know that if we do come into office again in 2025, the fiscal space is going to be very narrow because of the economic crisis in which we are. And so I do think that the next phase we should be looking at, we're not going to have enough fiscal space for large infrastructural projects. But I think that what Ghanaians are looking for is a change in our governance system, a review of our constitution, a strong fight against corruption. I mean, those are the kinds of things young people are looking for. But at the same time, raising investments and putting them in areas where young people can get opportunity to develop their full potential. And so I think that is the agenda for a next NDC administration. It might be me, it might be one of, we're going to have primaries and people are going to contest. And so you cannot presume that I'm going to emerge as the presidential candidate.
And I know since you're a nice guy, you're talking about corruption. Will it be possible for you, discipline people who are corrupt in your government?
Yes.
Because that's one thing that we've been fighting about. I know and believe that you heard about the problems of Africa when you were growing up. It's been there all the time. Everyone keep on saying the leaders, the leaders, the leaders. You don't think that narrative needs to change?
It must change. Today, we held a side event. I'm the chairman of the Tana Forum, which is the leading peace and security think tank in Africa. And we're talking with our European counterparts, and we're talking about investment in Africa, having more control of our natural resources, and issues like that, bilateral trade, the African Continental Free Trade Area. But I was honest to say that other issues that are within our own control to review are things like corruption, good governance, more democracy, free speech, protection of human rights. Those ones, you don't need any foreigners to come and do for you. You need to do those yourselves. So those are issues that we must resolve ourselves internally. And then based on that, we can go and sit on the table and tell others that this is what we want to see.
But definitely, the fundamental problem of our economy.
Yes.
We actually export more of our raw materials and importing finished goods.
Little value addition.
Your Excellency, you don't think this must change just to help the local entrepreneur in
Even
Ghana?
before you talk about value addition, there's the problem of our huge food import bill. When I was in office, we were importing about $500 million worth of rice a year, and we're producing some locally. Today, we're importing $950 million, almost $1 billion worth of rice. And that is only rice. You talk about tomato products, you talk about vegetable cooking oil, you talk about poultry products, you talk about fish and all that. There is the need to diversify our economy. You cannot do it overnight, but the process must start, that we're able to cut down our food import bill. If we're able to cut down our food import bill, we'll be saving Ghana $3 billion a year. That alone is enough to reinvest in the country and be able to add the kind of value that you are going to talk about.
But how do you intend to achieve that?
I think that farmers need support. We've approached it the wrong way. I realized some of the things that we ourselves did mistakes with. We imported tractors and agricultural equipment and we gave it to farmers. The farmer does not need the tractor, he doesn't need the agricultural equipment. He needs the services of a tractor. So somebody who knows how to maintain that tractor must have a service center where he provides the services to the farmer. But we give the tractors to the farmers. In a year or two, the tractor is broken down because he doesn't know that every 6 months you must change the engine oil, you must change the filters,
Exactly.
you must grease the tractor. He doesn't know that, so we'll approach it differently. I think that this government had an opportunity with the Planting for Food and Jobs. I think that money, part of it should have gone into setting up agricultural service centers where companies that know how to handle agricultural machinery keep the machines, but they offer the services to the farmer at a fee. If the farmer is not able to pay, you can give him a credit line. When he harvests his crops and he sells his crops, he can come and pay what he owes. It will even help with agricultural credit.
Because one of the things that I do on the continent is to travel different African countries, promoting young entrepreneurs. And one of the problems that everyone talks about is funding, especially in the agri sector.
Yeah.
I mean, the youth of Africa today cannot fund this kind of project. So I don't know if the government will come in terms of, if your government comes to power, you come in terms of providing funds for young farmers. I think that would be incredible, man.
You see, the thing about agriculture and farming is you need the big entrepreneurs to go in, and then based on that, if they put in the processing and the nucleus farm, then you have outgrower farmers. And you can bring the youth in and scale them up as they make money. I mean, it's done in Kenya. It's done. You have the big tea plantations, but then you have the small tea farmers too. And the small tea farmers, when they grow, they sell to the big tea plantation who process the tea for export, and so everybody makes money. You cannot just take a small young entrepreneur and build him into a successful farmer overnight. He needs to be mentored by a bigger entrepreneur. And don't tell me we don't have entrepreneurs in Ghana. We have them. They're buying Ferrari cars. They're buying Bugattis. Instead of looking into agriculture. I mean, one of our MPs said, if you want to be a poor man, go into agriculture. He doesn't know. He should go to East Africa and see some of the richest people are farmers.
This guy had a wonderful time, interviewed the former president, which he was very, very happy to interview the former president, which he has even interviewed some African leaders across the world. I mean, some African presidents. I don't remember, but I remember he has interviewed one African president before, and his own president, where he comes from, he cannot get a chance to interview him. Somebody will be like, who is Wadamaya? Yes, Wadamaya is nobody, but people really admire him, and people or his followers want him to interview the president of Ghana. So if you see something wrong with him, interview the former president. So what about if he was able to interview the president of Ghana first, then he interview your president, former president? What will you say? Anyway, this is just what I just want to say. People should stop being, rude to this guy. He is on the journey to change the negative narrative of Africa, which is the same as the negative narrative of Ghanaians. He is on the journey to change it, and we are on the journey to change it as well.